Dear students, in the last class we have discussed mainly two things, that is from the definition of architecture or from the mechanism of or phenomenon of architecture, what we can get, that is what we can define. Architecture is a high level design and it explains the overall structure of the system. Also it is a structure of components of a program or a system, and architecture is the components and the connectors. And we have seen the meaning of what is the meaning of components and connectors. Components are the different parts contributing as a software architecture, and connectors they imply the runtime mechanism for transferring the control and data around the system. Again the question arises, what is a runtime? In runtime, the runtime we can explain like this. When you start a program, runtime you can define like this. Runtime of a system or a program, when you start a program running in a computer, it is a runtime for that program. When you start a program and the program is being running in a computer, it is called as a runtime for that program. Also that is this components and connectors they intend to capture both runtime and non-runtime relationship. Non-runtime means when a program is not running and all the elements in a state called idle state. That is also we can define non-runtime element like this. Non-runtime means when a program is not running, all the elements in a state called, all the elements present in a state called idle state. This is said to be a non-runtime environment for a program. There are many states we can define for a program, that is initial state, running, pause state, interrupted state, transition state, as well as this idle state. When the program is not executing, only it is present at its place, such a state of a program it is called as a non-runtime state of a program. Means program is present in a memory and it is not running, then such a state it is called as a non-runtime state of a program. And next we will continue with the next part, that is architectural patterns, reference models and reference architectures. These concepts are very important in order to understand the remaining four models, because these are the basics of the software architecture. How the architectural patterns are defined, the meaning, the purpose, and what are the reference models and what are the types of reference models, the meaning and purpose in the software architecture, and the reference architectures. Before that is going through this definition, we'll first see this figure. That is in this figure we have that is reference model is there, architecture model is there. Both together constitute a reference architecture, and this reference architecture, it is itself called as a software architecture. In this figure, mainly it is representing the relationship of a reference models, architectural patterns, reference architectures and software architectures. Also here the arrow indicated in the in this figure indicate the subsequent concept contain more design elements. And first we will see the meaning of the reference model and architectural pattern. An architectural pattern, it is nothing but a description of element and relations types together with a set of constraints on how they may be used. For example, imagine this is a software architecture, and here we have constructed many elements. We have constructed, organized many elements here, okay, and this video we are discussing about architectural, that is pattern. Here this is a the figure representing the architectural pattern. This is a software architecture, and we well known about this fact as that software architecture, it is a structure of structures. It contains many structures here. Here in this architecture, many elements are there, and sometimes they may be connected, sometimes they may not be connected. Okay, so the connection represents the interrelationships. There is no connection, it indicates they are independently performing their task. And this whatever the concept I have been discussing here, this architectural pattern, it represents the description of all these elements. The description of all these elements, that is here we can name it. We can name it for our convenience. This is a element A, and we like this. This may be a element B. Okay, like this we define elements. Okay, and architectural pattern is a phenomenon. It is a phenomenon. It is a and it describes the, that is, elements present. The description of elements present in the pattern. This architecture. Also, the relations types together with the set of constraints, how they may be used. Here the relationship between them, that is, A is dependent on B because they are interrelated, and A is dependent on the element D and C, and C and E are independent, but they are indirectly dependent because D is dependent on E, or else E may be dependent on D. Like this, C is inversely dependent on E. So this architectural pattern describes the description of elements. What is the specification of the software element there? The configuration of a software element, how it behaves, what is the task assigned for the particular software elements, and how they mutually exchange the information, whether they exchange the information or they hide the information, there is any interrelationship between existence. Apart from this, we can discuss one more thing, that is what are the constraints or restrictions implemented on different elements. Constraints means the rules and regulations. That is, here you can see in this that is the picture, that is E, the software element E cannot be directly interact with the C, but it may indirectly interact with the C via D. Like this, these are the different constraints. That is, this is how the architectural pattern that is represented in the software architecture. It defines about constraints. It defines about constraints, and also the description of elements. And the third point is it explains interrelationship between elements, how they behave asynchronously, synchronously. Data is transferable or not transferable. They share the information, or they keep some information along with them and exchange remaining information. This is called as a interrelationship in the software architecture. This is how we can define a software pattern in a software architecture. And one example we can discuss, that is client server is a common architectural pattern. Let me explain. That is how the client and the server architecture behaves. This is the best example for a client server architecture pattern, and these are the many clients. In this picture you can see the 4 clients were there. The 3 clients are interacting with the laptops, and 1 client is interacting with the personal desktop, other client is interacting with the iPad here. And this is a centralized server, and these clients means the people who send a query or data to the server in the using a internet via through different browsers like Google or Firefox, many mobile browsers. Using these kinds of browsers, the client will send a information or a data required to the server, and server collects this information. If the information is present, then it may connect with the different databases and send back information to the client in the form of a response. This is called as a client server architecture. Somehow, in some situations, when the client made a request and the request is not found in the database, or the request is found, the server is with some physical problem or with some kind of hazard, then it may send some kind of status codes there, status code 100 to 500. Like this is how the client and server behave, and this is a picture of a client server architecture. Now I will stop here because video is going to stop within another 5-10 minutes. Next part I will continue in the next video.